Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're doing something around the parenting issue. I want to talk to you guys about preparing for baby's arrival and what are some of the budget-friendly tips that I can share with you. So let me start with my story. When baby came, he came early, but a bit of a backstory is that it was a very tough pregnancy. So for a long time, I did not want anything baby related in the house because I was just terrified that baby would be lost. So I sort of got on board of the excitement of having a baby at like 7 months. And that's around the time that I announced my pregnancy and shared with family. And only then did I allow, my family to do things like buy a teddy bear or, get anything baby related. Fast forward to, you can get all of these lists online as to what should you have to prepare for baby's arrival. And you'll also have a list of what to pack in your hospital bag once you're close to your due date. And we'll do a whole other video about what to pack, especially considering that, it is COVID and there were different lockdown restrictions. But in terms of what to have, there'll be lists that tell you have 6 vests, have this. And I kind of had that list sort of there, but I wasn't doing anything about it because I was just a late bloomer in the pregnancy process. And then I also said to myself, actually, before I go buy anything, I want to see what it is that people bring for the baby shower. And then from after that, of what people bring for the baby shower, we can start gathering things. Cool. Before the baby shower, my mom and I went and got some basics. And if you look at the video of where we buy babies' clothes, I mentioned Ackermans and Pep. They were so fantastic in just getting the beginning basics. And they also have tiny baby sizes. That's if your baby is premature, which you won't know. But at some point we had to get that because baby was premature. So you have all of those lists. So about a week or so before the baby shower, we started buying a couple of things like the vests, and then we were like, let's find a nice outfit for the hospital when baby comes home. I know lots of people do that as well. And Pep and Ackermans were amazing in getting all of those things. So clothes, that's the perfect place to go to. I have to tell you about Pep and Ackermans in the sense that they really have expanded what they offer in terms of baby things. They have toiletries covered. Some of them even have baby harnesses. They have a whole lot of blankets. And I had a winter baby, so we needed many blankets. I mean, we were full on doing the whole black thing. We're like piling on blankets. And then also, you'll see on your list, they'll say receiving blanket, blanket. You'll go through the list. Your Pep and Ackermans have all of those type of things if you're looking for a one-stop shop to go to. And then of course you need to prepare things like toiletries. So in a previous video I spoke about what's on my baby's compactum, which is a variety of toiletries, safety items and medicines. Now when it comes to toiletries, which will be part of the list of things you need to prepare for baby, keep in mind that you don't know what your baby's skin is gonna react like to certain products. So try your best to not buy in bulk. You might find yourself buying very, very big containers because it's cheaper, but you don't know what's going to happen with baby skin, which was the case with us, where he had a mild form of eczema, and then there's some products of his that we just couldn't use. But back to the budget-friendly products. I spoke a lot about big brands like your Johnson & Johnson, your Bennett's. There are other brands that you can get that are much cheaper. Go to Pep. They have an in-house brand called Cuddlesome, and they literally do everything. They've got your diapers, they've got, your petroleum jelly, your Aqueous creams, all of those things. They've got fragrance and non-fragrance. They've got the baby oil, so you don't have to go anywhere to get, anywhere expensive. Like obviously at Dis-Chem and places like that, you'll see a variety of brands, including local brands, but you don't have to go the expensive route. Another thing for you to know is that when you go to a place like Pep, sometimes they have discounted of the big brands. So maybe if you're thinking, let me go buy Johnson's at Checkers, Pick and Pay or Dis-Chem, you might get it significantly cheaper when you go to Pep. So those are some of the things that I did that were just budget friendly when it came to preparing. We had decided early on that we were going to go with Pampers. There is already kind of like a thought that Huggies works better for boys and Pampers works better for girls, because obviously the way that kids go to the toilet is very, very different in their diapers. You're going to end up having to find what works for you. And interestingly enough, even though we had opted for Pampers at last minute because baby came early and the sizes that we had were just not the right size, he had Huggies for the first week or so of his life, and then we switched to Pampers. So again, try and avoid buying too many things in bulk. I kind of let everybody know, if you are going to buy diapers and things like that, this is the brand that we're opting for. I know I've got sensitive skin, so the likelihood is baby has got sensitive skin. So your diapers, your toiletries, go and look at your Peps and your Ackermans. You'll be very surprised some of the gems that you can find there. Then when it comes to, the clothing, check out my video about where to buy babies' clothes, because you can get some super, super budget-friendly things. If you do have a bit of a bigger budget and you want to go and spend on something a little bit special, there is a blanket that we got at Woolworths that is just absolutely stunning. No, I didn't use my money. We used the money from the baby shower vouchers. And we have a beautiful, beautiful, very, very big sized blanket that we still use today for Mutlokegi. So again, and I'll keep reiterating, have a mix and match of where you go looking for certain things. Like if you go to Dis-Chem or you go to Baby City, because yes, Baby City is now Dis-Chem Baby City, they fall under one brand. You will find some baby clothes, you will find some bibs, but you have to compare the prices. So for example, I found certain things a bit more expensive at Clicks than what I found at Dis-Chem. And then also keep in the back of your mind, while you're trying to do budget-friendly shopping, towards a certain point of your pregnancy, you're not going to want to be shopping, and you might not have the energy to be comparing prices. So maybe a good route to go is that all of these stores, especially these big retail stores, your Peps, your Ackermans, all of those groups of stores, they will always have specials. Some of them you can find online, some of them send somebody to go to the store to get them for you. You can start circling and compare. So even though sometimes a place like Woolworths seems more expensive, sometimes there's a special where you can get 2 onesies for 75 rands and it actually ends up being cheaper. So you really must try to mix and match. Now let's talk about the nursery and furniture. Not everybody is going to have a room for their baby, and that is okay. Our baby had a room, but he wasn't in it. Really, what the purpose of his room was for him to have some of his things there. But what had happened is that baby was in the main bedroom for a good couple of months, and that was up until he moved into his own room. Check out the sleep training video and you can see how we got him to move out of the room. But because of that, you can use some of your own things. Like if you already have a chest of drawers in your bedroom, you don't have to buy a compactor. You just have to create space so that baby can have space for all of his clothes, baby can have all her clothes, baby can have space for all of their toiletries to make everything easily accessible. Baby did not have a compactor when baby was born. So if I take you back to the time where I said, just before my baby shower, we got a couple of things like clothes, diapers, started preparing the hospital bag, and then had my baby shower, all great. Then we were the following, the Sunday, the day after the baby shower, opening presents, all excited. Okay, cool. We still need to get this, and this. The big items, and I'm talking your cot, your compactum, your car seat, none of them were there. What happens the Monday? I go to the gynae for a checkup, and he's like, baby needs to come out. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is to show I went into the hospital to have an emergency C-section and nothing was there. Not even a bath for the baby was there. But what happened? In the hospital, we are there for a couple of days, then I get discharged and baby's there. We still had nothing, right? Because you can make do with the things that you have. And yes, I know that being online, you get to fantasize about having a baby room, having certain decor, all of those things. And we just kind of went the route to say, let's see as we go along. So when baby was discharged, which was a surprise, we didn't even have a car seat. My brother brought, and this is what helps when you have a brother whose baby's like 4 months older than your child, is that you're close in age. So my brother basically came with the car seat to borrow us, that we ended up using, because if you go to a private hospital to give birth, they do not let you leave with the baby if there isn't a car seat. So just in terms of safety, that is very, very critical. But you don't have to buy the car seat, because if you think about it, baby is home most of the time. The car seat you'll use for baby to go to the clinic and all of those things. So if you don't need to buy and you have someone whose car seat you can borrow, by all means do that. Baby was very small, so we had to buy this kind of like, it's a cushioning thing that just makes them fit in a bit more snug. But no, we didn't buy it. Got it for my brother, and that was what we got to get baby to go home. And of course the blankets and the toiletries and all of those things need to be ready. So what happens? Baby gets home and there's nothing. By nothing, I don't mean he didn't have clothes and diapers and a baby bag, but I mean there was nothing in terms of furniture, cot, all of those things. So it was literally as simple as while I was in hospital, I became acutely aware at some point that I'm going to need to get a breast pump, because you might not think you need to plan for baby being fed because you're going to breastfeed, but sometimes you encounter problems, as I did. So when we got home, the most important thing that we needed to go buy on that day was the breast pump. My mom took skokolo, like literally a bowl, a bucket that you use for doing the laundry, and filled it with blankets, and that became baby's first bed. And came time to bath, like Mukokeki still today uses the skokolo that we were bathing him in, because he fits in it, and we put it in the bath. Yes, in his room, I have shown you guys, check out the video of the nursery tour. He does have a big bath, but sometimes it's just cumbersome and a mission to fill, but it wasn't a necessity, it was a nice to have. So we had skokolo of laundry, that was what was available for baby to sleep in. I was too scared to have baby in the bed, just because I was scared of rolling over, so it was easier for baby to be in skokolo. And then we had another little dish for baby for bath time. I'll tell you in a future video about the decision to not bath baby. Like, it was briefed to the NICU nurses that don't want baby to be bathed, so he didn't bath for about a week and a bit, and that's to do with basically the fluids that they come out with and how they're good for baby skin, but I'll explain that in another video. So back to the nursery. The compactum that was used was that there was a chest of drawers in the bedroom, and that's where baby's things went. So there was no furniture. There was no car seat that was bought. There was no pram, because we're not going anywhere. The things that we had were toiletries, diapers, and clothes. And I think it's so important to be mindful and to consider the fact that babies need very little in terms of their things when they come. Like, even a teddy bear is a nice to have. So if you cannot afford, don't pressurize yourself to have all of these things that maybe you are not able to afford. Even when you go and buy baby's toiletries, you're going to see so many extra things that are not necessary. Like, baby soap is sufficient. When you're cleaning baby's face, you're going to use a very soft, not even a vaslap. For baby's face, you're going to use like a cotton pad with water just to clean his face, and his body's just soap, water, and a very soft vaslap. So very minimal items that babies need. And I think it's important not to go out of your way if you cannot afford it. You can literally get things as and when you go along. So what happened? Fortunately enough, I am in a position to get certain things. I did think that I had still a month to go of pregnancy, which was going to be the time of getting a cot and doing up his nursery. And then baby came, and then was like, okay, cool. At some point, a car seat will be bought. At some point, a pram will be bought. At some point, A cot will be bought, and it happened over time as and when was needed. And do shop around. You don't have to, go to Baby City or some of the fancy nurseries or the decor brands that you'll see online. You can go to secondhand stores and find a compactor. You can go to secondhand stores and find a cot. Anything from your cash converters, you can check out Gumtree, see what is secondhand. There are Facebook groups you can go to that are budget friendly for getting things. So they'll literally show you all the specials for the week where you can get certain items, or they can show you pre-loved items like a cot, a crib. If you feel uncomfortable, you can sanitize it. So the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be an expensive exercise. You can keep things simple. I had things very simple right at the beginning, and then I started, seeing what are the things that baby is adjusting to positively. Then we know, okay, that's what we're going to use. And I also had to keep room for that to change. And then to also see what are the things that we start needing more of. Like, okay, now we need a car seat. Okay, now we need a pram because we want to go on a walk with the baby. Okay, cool. Now that we are doing sleep training, let's get baby a proper cot. Now that we're doing this, let's get baby this. With regards to sharing a bed with your baby, it's kind of like a little cocoon thing that you can put the baby in. And at the beginning, baby doesn't move much. Like, they are there where you left them generally till they start rolling over. But even if you need to sleep with baby, it's very simple. You can roll up a blanket and make like a little tube that goes next to you if you're worried about rolling over onto baby. So keep it simple. Look out, do your research, do your homework, go and see what's cheaper. Talk to your friends and siblings that have had babies and see if they have anything that they're not going to use anymore. Some of the things that I got from a cousin. The baby changing area was a baby shower gift, but some of the things we got from my brother and sister-in-law because my niece had just used them. Other things you're like, okay, it's time for our own car seat. Let's go just buy a car seat, and then that car seat moved on to someone else. There's this little swing that baby used to be in, and it came from a friend of mine, and she decided that let's rotate the swing for all the different mothers that have kids that are small, because once he gets to like 6 months, he's too big for the swing. But it's a digital remote controlled swing that like swings and rocks the baby. And it was with us for about 4 months. Then it moved on to the next mom. Check the Facebook groups, check the mommy WhatsApp groups. You'll be so surprised how many people in your area are willing to pass things on to you, or they have things that are still in labels. You have moms who will say, I bought newborn clothes for my child and the baby came out big and had to be in 0 to 3 months. So there are some moms who are sitting with things that are brand new with their labels on. Speaking of brand new and with labels on, guys, before baby arrives, all of the clothes that baby's supposed to wear, make sure you wash them. Make sure you wash them, which brings me to the baby laundry items. I would say you're gonna have to try it out and see what works on baby skin. Purity, I sort of enjoy their fabric softener or fabric conditioner and their baby wash stuff. Ariel has a baby washing liquid that we tried. Sunlight has a baby washing liquid that we tried. I found all of these different ones at discount, but you can also find them at your very big Checkers, Hypers, and those types of stores. When it comes to other safety items like a thermometer, you do need to get those before baby arrives. The great thing is, even on Take-A-Lot, you can get them much cheaper. You can get them much cheaper at Checkers. And it's not just thermometer. Maybe you want to get a few things that are just in case, like Panado, that's if baby has a fever, or your Calpol. It doesn't have to be big, bulky, expensive. It can be small, few items that you know you're going to use, and explore the brands. You don't have to go for the big brands, your Johnsons, your Bennetts. Go and see what else is there. Like even with your bum cream, sometimes a Bepanthen can be a little bit pricey, but if you take the time to look for something else, it can work for your baby. I think though, this journey is very exciting. So in that period where you're exploring and trying to check out different brands and you're comparing the prices, have fun with it. It does matter which part of your pregnancy you're in that it gets harder. Have a buddy that's going to go with you. I became my sister-in-law's buddy with like just constantly seeing things online. When I was pregnant, my sister-in-law and my sister were constantly searching for budget save, this, buy here, all of those things. They were constantly sending me links. They were sending me Instagram profiles, Facebook groups of like, here's an account for pre-loved items. Some of the pre-loved items are not even for sale. They say, I'll give this away. All you have to do is fetch it or deliver it. So do the research, but have fun with it. It really is part of the journey. And you will start to see how those items obviously become such a big part of your child's life. But even now, the fact that skotlolo, like my child has a bath, a fancy bath, but we're using the little skotlolo that he was been bathing in since he was a newborn, and somehow that's kind of special. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're able to take out some little tips and nuggets. Share more of your tips and nuggets down below. Maybe it can be stores that helped you get things cheaper, factory outlets, secondhand items, whatever it is, share down below. And of course, any of the questions that you have, ask them down below. I'll make sure that I reply all of you. And if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. Until next time.